What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. And May says something interesting when it comes to the way Stephen A. Smith defended Jay-Z compared to the way that he defended Shannon Sharpe. Now, I have my thoughts on it. And, some of the things that Shannon had been involved in up to that point, maybe Stephen A. Smith took that into consideration before he could jump out the window. Think about that tape leaking and all that stuff, right? Some of the things he says on Nightcap and all that, maybe that's what Stephen A was thinking about. But Jay-Z, he jumped out the window for him, saying that it was something that just is impossible for that to be true. Now, Tony Busby and the girl ended up making a fool out themselves. But my point is Stephen A. Smith wouldn't be the person to verify or deny those things because he wasn't there. He wouldn't have any knowledge of it because he wasn't cool with Jay-Z like that at that point, man. So we're gonna get into um how he defended both of those guys, and Mason's gonna call it out, man. Let's check it out.
I've known this man for 25 years. And I'm saying for me, Stephen A. Smith, there is no way in hell I believe this about him. The Jay-Z that I know is the Jay-Z that I've seen around teenagers, and he doesn't even want us playing the kind of music we kind of listen to in hip hop. He made us turn it off. That dude who was in concert in 2004 performing alongside R. Kelly, who he grew to dislike a lot, particularly because of the allegations that were leveled against him, who found things like that despicable and abhorrent. Anybody that's been around Jay-Z and knows him has seen him come to the defense of the most helpless amongst us, which are the children. I can't believe for 1 second that he would ever be associated with an allegation like this. And I felt it was important to bring that up because you got people out there. Stephen A., you had something to say about Diddy. Why aren't you going to have something to say about Jay-Z? Well, I don't know Diddy. I've met him a few times, talked to him a few times, absolutely. But I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I don't believe it. This is a shakedown, to use his words. How wise is it to use those kind of words when a civil matter of this nature is out there? When you have a podcast and you have advertisers and sponsors and you work for ESPN and they have advertising sponsors, I don't know. I spoke on this issue. It's because he works with me 2 days a week. He's on national television. He was on national television with me today. He was on national television with me yesterday when the story came out Sunday night. I didn't know anything about it until we got on the air. But he was on air. And if you know him in part because of all the work that he's doing with me and what he's doing in this industry, I know everybody's been waiting. Like, Stephen A., what you got to say about this? I got to say what I just told you. I don't know what's happened. I know I got love for the brother. I know that I'm wishing that he's innocent and all of this stuff goes away and he can continue to thrive with me on ESPN and thrive in his own platforms that he worked so diligently over the years to build. But anything else would be entirely irresponsible for me to speak on.
So notice the difference tonally with the way Stephen A. Smith spoke about Shannon and the way he spoke about Jay-Z. Now, Jay-Z moves very quiet and isn't doing too much out in the open. So maybe Stephen A. felt a little more comfortable speaking on his behalf because Shannon, do something for two something. And, he started playing into all of this. He's following OnlyFans models. He's going live with girls. And so maybe Stephen A., just the optics of it, maybe he didn't want to lean into it as much. But, Mace brings up a point, which we're going to get into. Let's pick.
So it really was the interview with Stephen A. when he was speaking of it. And I was watching it very carefully, Killer.
Stephen A. said something about this already?
Yeah, because Stephen A., he didn't stand with Shannon Sharpe like he stood with Jay-Z. When he heard about Jay-Z, he said, the guy I know, this is not true. When it came to Shannon, he was like, I wasn't there.
Yo, that's
In a nutshell,
I
yeah.
gotta keep it static, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't there for Jay-Z neither. You wasn't there for Jay-Z. You were not there for Jay-Z, but you went out on a limb because of the character of guy you know. So I'm not saying that you're wrong for that. I'm saying I would have thought that the same standard would be there, right? If for a guy you work with every day. Or not every day, but you know.
Damn near.
And I'm not taking a shot at Stephen A. It's just an observation.
Yeah, so guys, when I look at this, I think when I look at the totality of everything that's gone on even before this, it was announced even before Stephen A got his deal that Shannon Sharpe had reached an agreement with ESPN to continue doing First Take, but also be used in another capacity with the NFL type show. And I don't think it was NFL Today. They were talking about some original programming with Shannon Sharpe. And I know he had recently brought Ocho over to ESPN for him to have an opportunity to talk on air with them. But, you know, with these things going on with Shannon, I don't know how much Stephen A can attach his name to it with his brand new deal. Stephen A wants to get every dollar. And I think, that's fair. That's fair. Your 100 million, you want every penny of that. You want every penny of that. And you worked your life to get this deal. This is the deal you worked your life for. And can you throw it on the line for somebody that you just don't know, right? He don't know Shannon as well as like the numbers that they're doing. They're doing big numbers together, but I don't think he knows him. I think Skip knows him much better than Stephen A does. They were just high and by. They knew each other. They probably, chatted a little bit when they seen each other, but then went their separate ways. But now they have a weekly working relationship and have built more of a friendship over time. But a lot of things has happened, with Shannon. Shannon even went off on Stephen A one time live on air about something, man. So yeah, and we seen that emotional stuff that they talking about in the lawsuit where he just go unhinged. But I think they knew that and they could point to TV examples and stuff like that. And I don't know if that'll ever stick, but as far as Shannon, I think he is doing the right thing, stepping away from ESPN. If he is indeed, because sometimes they let you make a statement like you're doing it, but they're really telling you to do it. He needs to step away, get his affairs in order. He'll never be looked at the same though because of the 19-year-old. In the eyes of many. Uh, so again, he just has to prove his innocence right now and let the other chips fall where they may. I think the issue with this though is the way Stephen A. took up for Jay-Z. Um, I think Shannon would have loved that type of love for him as well because he's came and boosted the numbers, done some great things. It's just, how far can I really jump out there for you if you moving like this? Let me know what you guys think about this though in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.